Hello everyone and welcome to the chapter number 76 of the Blender Master course, Rigging Adjustments. In this chapter, we'll finally complete the entire rigging of the character since we'll be making some final adjustments that need to be done for a proper rigging and animation, and apart from that, we'll also learn about rigging the clothes along with the body of character. And for anyone who is new to this course, you can watch the previous 76 chapters from the link of the playlist given in the pinned comment. So starting from the chapter number 70, we created this 3D character, then we even created a final rig for this character that we'll use for character rigging and the animation. And if you wish to download the 3D model of this character, then you can join the Patreon, whose link is available in the description of this video. In order to complete understanding about the character rigging, we also need to make some adjustments in the rig and the character in order to make it perfect. So starting with the first one, if with the rig selected, if I press Ctrl plus Tab to enter the pose mode and select this rigify control for the head of character and try to rotate it by pressing R, then you will notice that the eyes, eyebrows, the nose and the teeth of the character are not rotating, and this is because we need to make some adjustments in the weight paint of this character model. And since teeth are a separate object in the scene collection, so we need to create a parent-child relationship of the teeth and the bone. So to do all this, let's first come out of the pose mode, and for now, we'll be hiding the clothes and the hair of the character. So for this, I'll first select the character, then in the particle settings, turn off the real-time display by clicking on this icon. Then I'll go to the scene collection. We'll be hiding the t-shirt, the shoes of the character, and also the pants. Let's also hide the meta rig, and now we are ready to make the adjustments. So with the character selected, if I hold on Ctrl plus Tab and take my cursor to the weight paint, then basically this is where we need to make the changes for the rigging adjustments. To understand this in more detail, let's open the object data properties, and in the vertex group, you will notice that we are having a large number of vertices, and for each one of these, we have a certain area assigned, which you can also see as green and yellow colored on this character. And this painted region simply represents that the selected vertex group will be controlling the painted region. Now the reason behind having so many vertex groups for this character, we have not created them ourselves, is that whenever we do the rigging of any character or any object, then in that case, each of the deformation bones will have a specific area of some vertex group assigned to it, which it will control while rigging the character. To understand this in even more detail, we have opened the edit mode, and let's also turn on the X-ray mode. And now in the bone collections, we have this DEF, which stands for deformation bones. So if I unhide this, then you will notice that all these bones that we can see inside the character are basically the deformation bones, and all of them have some specific region defined that will be controlled by the controls that we can view in the pose mode. For example, this particular bone, which is the spine node 006, is there to control the character's head, and for the controlling purpose, we have this head control, and if I rotate this, then you will notice that the character's head along with the bone will rotate like this. And now to set the region where this effect of the control will be applied, we have to use the weight paints. So first of all, let's return back to the object mode, then with the rig selected, hold on the shift button and we'll select the character. Now to enter the weight paint mode, hold on Ctrl and Tab and take the cursor to the weight paint. Now in the weight paint mode, if you want to select any bone, then for this, simply hold the Alt button, and if I left click on a bone, then it will get selected and we'll be able to see that specific region which will be controlled by that bone. Just like this, if I hold the Alt button and select this bone inside the chest, then you will see that this particular bone is controlling this entire region which is shaded as green and yellow. Similarly, with the Alt key holded, if I select this bone at the top, then this entire shaded region, which is red in color, is being controlled by this particular bone. And as you can see here, that only the head of the character is shaded and not the eyes, the eyebrows and the nose of character. So to solve this problem, we need to shade all of these with the same red color as the head of the character. But before that, let's also turn on the mirroring in the x-axis from here, and now if I left click my cursor on this unshaded region, you will notice that it's creating a painting like effect as the area is being shaded on both the sides. Now let's go to the front view by pressing 1 on the numpad. Let's zoom in properly, and now we'll be doing the same with the eyes and the nose of the character. Also, a faster way to do this is to hold down the left click mouse button, and if I drag my cursor, then the entire area around the cursor will get shaded like this. So do make sure that you have shaded the entire area of the eye with the red color, and similarly let's do the same for this upper part of the eyebrows also, like this. Now let's change the angle and let's shade this particular area also on the side of the eyebrow. Let's also shade this region, and so basically we need to shade each and every region of the eyes and the eyebrows because we want them to be affected by the character rigging. Let's fix some more areas like this, and now it looks perfect. Now it might seem that we have shaded the entire region of the eye and the eyebrows. However, this is not true because we still need to shade the area of the eyes which is inside the character's head. And to view it, we need to zoom into the character's head, and let's try to change the angle, zoom in again, and at some specific angle, you will notice that you are able to see this green and the yellow region of one of the eyes. Now to shade them into the red color, simply left click and drag your cursor like this. And so with this, we have now shaded the entire region of the eyes with the red color in the weight paint. Now let's do the same with the nose also. So for this, simply left click and drag your cursor like this around the nose of the character. Now let's change the angle slightly, and we'll be doing the same step for this back part of the nose also. So let's shade this region also. Let's also do the same for the bottom part of the nose. And so with this, we have now completed the weight painting for the character's head completely. So now if I hold Ctrl plus Tab and go to the object mode, let's also turn off the X-ray mode, and now let's enter the pose mode of this character rig. Finally, with this head control selected, if I press R to rotate it, then you will notice that this time the eyes of the character are being influenced by the rotation of the head control. However, the rotation or basically the alignment is not correct. And to solve this problem, let's return back to the object mode. Then with the rig selected, hold down the shift button and select the body of the character. Now hold on Ctrl and Tab, and we'll again enter the weight paint mode. Now to avoid the issue that we were just facing, we have to use a very simple tool which is known as the auto normalize tool. To access this, go to this menu of options, and from here turn on the auto normalize. And now with this turned on, we simply have to zoom in, and we now need to reapply the weights on the eyes of character. But a better way to do this is to first select this head control on the top by holding the Alt button and left clicking to select it, and then we'll rotate it by pressing R like this. Now to apply the weights again to the character's eyes, we'll be selecting this bone by holding the Alt button and left clicking on it. Let's also turn off the X-ray mode in order to get a better view. Now to apply the paint again, simply left click and drag your cursor like this, and you will begin to notice that the eyes will begin to move towards their original position and will get attached to the head of the character. So we have to do this from all the angles in order to give the eyes a completely perfect look. And so with this, we have now fixed the error of the improper rotation of the eyes for this head control. Now let's return back to the object mode. Then I'll select this rig, press Ctrl plus Tab to enter the pose mode, and with this head control selected, if I try to rotate it, then now finally we are able to rotate the head of the character, including its eyes and the nose and also the eyebrows, in a perfect manner. Now moving ahead, the next thing that we'll do today is to create a relationship between the teeth and the character rig, because currently even when we rotate the head control, we are not able to see any changes on the teeth of character. So for this, let's first go to the pose menu and clear the transform by selecting all. Now let's return back to the object mode. Now select the teeth from the scene collection, and then with the shift key holded, we'll be selecting the character's rig. Let's also turn on the X-ray mode in order to view everything properly. And now with both of these selected, press Ctrl plus Tab to enter the pose mode. Now what we basically need to do is that we want to create a parent-child relationship between the teeth that we have selected and this spine.006 bone, because this is that particular bone which is controlling the entire transformation and the rotation of the character's head. So to do this, with this bone selected, go to pose menu, and from here you will have a parent option, and in this one we have several categories, but since we want the teeth object to be parented with a particular bone, so we'll be selecting the bone option. And with this, if I select this head control again and try to rotate it, then now you can see here that the teeth of the character, which are outlined with the orange color, are also rotating along with the head. To see this in a much better way, let's return back to the object mode and we'll turn off the X-ray mode. And so in this way, we were able to add both the eyes and the teeth together with the head object for a proper rotation while rigging the character. Now moving ahead, the next thing that we're gonna do today is to transform the weights from the body to the clothes of character, or to be more specific, we'll be applying the rigging to the clothes just like we did to the body of character. So for this, let's first unhide the t-shirt, shoes and the pants of character, and with this, if I press Ctrl plus Tab to enter the pose mode and try to move this torso control, then you will notice that the effect of rigging is only being applied to the character's body but not to the clothes of the character. And to solve this problem, let's first enter the object mode. Now I'll be selecting the t-shirt of the character, then I'll go to the modify properties, and first of all, we need to ensure that we have applied the mirror modifier to all the clothes in the scene. Also, we need to turn off the real-time display of any other modifier that we have added and not yet applied. So let's turn off the real-time display of the subdivision surface modifier of this t-shirt. Similarly, I'll select the pants of the character, then we'll go to the modify properties and we'll be applying the mirror modifier, and we'll also turn off the real-time display of the subdivision surface modifier. Similarly with the shoes also, we'll apply the mirror modifier from here and we'll turn off the real-time display of the subdivision surface modifier. Now what we basically have to do is that we need to transfer the body weight to the clothes so that we can see the effect of rigging on the clothes of the character. And to do this, you simply need to select the character's body first, and then with the shift key holded, select the cloth which will be the target object in this case. And now to transfer the weights of the body to the t-shirt, we need to enter the weight paint mode. So hold down Ctrl plus Tab and select the weight paint. Now in the weights menu, here you have the option to transfer the weights. So we'll select this, and now over here we have a menu which is the transfer mesh data menu, and we need to change some settings in order to achieve our result. So first of all, in the vertex mapping, change this to the nearest face interpolated. Then in the source layer selection, select by name, and in the ray radius, we'll be entering a value of 5 meters. Also, to connect this t-shirt to the rig that we created, we also need to add the armature modifier. So go to the modifier properties, click on add modifier, then in the deform, select the armature modifier. Now in the object, select this rig that we created for the character's body. Also, do ensure that the armature modifier is placed above all the remaining modifiers in the modifier properties. And to do this, simply left click over here and drag the armature modifier above the subdivision surface modifier. And so with this, we have now successfully transferred the weights of the body to the t-shirt object. In fact, we can even check this. So first of all, let's return back to the object mode, then select the rig, press Ctrl plus Tab to enter the pose mode. And if I select this hand control and try to move it, then you will notice that it's not only controlling the body of the character, but also the character's clothes. So in this way, we can easily transfer the weights of the body to the cloth object and also apply the rigging effect to the character's clothes. Also, let's come out of the pose mode, select the t-shirt object, and we'll also turn on the real-time display of the subdivision surface modifier. Now moving ahead, we'll be doing the same thing for the pants and the shoes of the character. So for this, first of all, we'll be selecting the character's body, and then with the shift key holded, select the character's pants. Now press Ctrl plus Tab to enter the weight paint, then go to weights and click on the transfer weights. Then in this menu of the transfer mesh data, change the vertex mapping to the nearest face interpolated, increase the ray radius to a value of 5 meters, and the source layer selection to the by name. Also, go to the modify properties and we'll be adding the armature modifier. Then in the object, select the rig and we'll also place it above the subdivision surface modifier. Now let's return back to the object mode, and now to confirm that the body weights is transferred to the pants of the character, I'll select the rig, press Ctrl plus Tab to enter the pose mode. Now I'll select the feet of the character, and if I try to move it by pressing G, then now you can see that the effect of rigging is also being applied to the pant object. So in this way, we successfully transferred the weight of the body to the pants of the character. Similarly, we'll also be doing the same thing for the shoes of the character, and for this, we'll first clear the transform. So with this foot control selected, we'll also select the one on the left side, then go to the pose menu, and in the clear transform, select all. Now press Ctrl plus Tab to enter the object mode again. Now I'll select the body first, then with the shift key holded, select the shoes, hold on Ctrl plus Tab and select the weight paint mode. Now to transfer the weights, go to the weights menu and select transfer weights. Now in the transfer mesh data menu, to ensure that in the vertex mapping, nearest face interpolated is selected, then in the ray radius, 5 meters should be the value, and in the source layer selected, by name should be the option. Now in the modify properties, we'll be adding the armature modifier, and in the object, we'll select the rig. Let's also place it above the subdivision surface modifier, and now let's return back to the object mode. To check everything, let's select the rig, press Ctrl plus Tab to enter the pose mode, and now I'll select one of the foot controls, and if I move them, then now you can see here that the shoes are also following the same movement and the rotation as the character's body. Also, let's return back to the object mode, then I'll select this pant, and in the modify properties, let's turn on the subdivision surface modifier's real-time display. Let's also do the same thing for the character's shoes, and so with this, we have now completed the entire rigging of the character's body. In today's chapter, we discussed about some final adjustments that we needed to make in order to make this body of the character ready for rigging. And also, from the next chapter onwards, we'll be starting a journey of understanding the concept of face rigging in Blender. So our next chapter will be the chapter number 77, Face Rigging Part 1. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, press that notification bell so that you can get timely updates about the upcoming chapters. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.